I should leave meeting. Just kidding.
Sorry about that.
Does everybody know Control A? That's the shortcut to like select an entire table.
Control A.
Yep. So select any cell in that table. Control A. Select
I do now.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, Control A. A, says the Fonzie.
I actually just showed my son the Weezer video that used to come on like the Windows 95 CD 30 years ago or whatever it was. He loved it. That was awesome. Did he ask me like why the quality was so bad?
You know, back in the 90s, that's what it was, man.
Yeah. Oh man, that was like top notch. All right. So select all of that, and then you're going to do your scatter chart, right? So you got this.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yep. Okay. So what you do is right now it's trying to plot everything on one scale, right? So like points per game is ranging like 16 to 28, somewhere in that range, right? And then yards per game is way up in the 300s and upper 200s. So it's throwing them on one scale, which throws this stuff off.
Right.
So what you do is you go this. So go in, right click on this, go to change chart type. So it goes back to this, right? And you can do this too. And when you create your table, if you select all this instead of just going straight to a scatter chart, go to your recommended charts, you got all charts, basically the same thing. So what we want to do is we want to go down to combo at the bottom. So combo allows you to create a secondary axis. So we want points per game, and we want that to be a cluster, or sorry, a scatter, right? So we do that, and then we want yards per game to also be a scatter, but we want them to be on different axes. So one of them, you just click secondary axis.
Bada bing, there it is.
Yep. Now you've got them.
Wow.
A little bit closer. And then you can go in here and you can then kind of play with this. You can change your axis. So like you want to reduce this, whatever you want to do. Kind of pretty it up.
Yeah, pretty it up. But the question, so back to the question is it pure linear? So should we have a trend line go through this?
I think not. I played around with the trend lines and they didn't look very good.
So,
so I did a little differently. I had the yards per game in the x-axis as our independent variable, and the points per game in the y-axis as the y variable, and then plotted that as a scattered plot, and then I drew a trend line through it.
How did that look?
And the trend line, I put the equation on, and it has exactly what you have there, where the point per game variable was 0.126.
I gotcha. So you did it like kind of as if you were doing like a regression using the scatter plot.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, is that?
Yeah, mine look more like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you add the equation on there, it'll give you exactly what you have, however you got your variable.
Yep, so you go, so like trend line.
More options, and then display equation, and then display R squared. Yep.
So you did this. Yep. And then I guess question is, does this match the equation?
So what I had to do was I had to swap the X and Y axis.
Yeah, you're
Oh yeah, I got you. Yep.
Yeah, because your dependent variable is points per game. So
Lost my chart.
Disappeared.
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
that doesn't look right.
We need to manually change.
It's got everything. I have to change this around completely because it's all screwed up.
I did it a different way. I did it, so then go back to the regular one, the original one, that we made with the, oh, no, the,
That one?
yeah, that one. Or make one right now. Yeah, so make a chart. And then what I did was that at the top, click on switch column row data under the data and yeah, there. Click on, wait. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I don't know how I
Okay.
did.
That does
I
that
forgot
does
how I did.
this. Yeah, that does the same thing as if you go here. So it's the same thing as this.
There's another, okay, hold on. I remember there's a way I did it. And then all I did was I just
Edit.
switched them, edit it.
How about,
Yeah, you have to-
yeah,
you have to
click
go-
edit.
Yeah, you have to go through here and like edit it completely because
The way I did was
Long
easy.
story
It'll just okay, just like copy and paste the row, whatever for X, and then copy and paste it, or the set for for X, and copy the set for Y, and that was it. It was really simple. But here,
yeah, I
hold
think
on,
if you
let me
also
try
if
to
you
find
just take
Hey,
this.
Matt,
Yep.
yeah, no, like go draw the chart like we did previously. So
Which version?
the one when like with the data, just with the initial one, not this one.
This?
No. The one when what Clarence was saying.
Oh yeah, that was.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you can right click the chart and select data.
Mhm.
And then, oh, it comes different in my, like in Mac, I believe.
go to edit, click on edit, in the little box, and then just switch the X and Y.
Yeah,
Just like copy paste and put it on the top. Put the next, yeah.
maybe just switch B with C, C with B. Yeah, that's it.
Or yeah, you can switch the, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same as this one though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I just, you remember when he was saying that, oh, there is a way, like it always takes X as the first one, you cannot do it.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's why if you do this, and actually I wonder, let's try another way. So let's
But-
say if we selected this and then if I hold control and select this, I
mm,
wonder if it treats it as like in order.
no, it would still just be, yeah.
So yeah,
So
you
always
have
choose
to
the
like,
left one as X and always the right one as Y.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but we can like manually did it. So
so anyways,
Left to right.
what you're saying is if we go, let me just clean this up a little bit.
so it should match with your regression data equation.
Correct. But I don't think it did. That was the thing though.
Go to your,
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Actually, it
The
does.
equation looks good.
No, it does. Because this is the equation from the regression.
yeah.
All right, so 3 ways to get there.
Yeah.
The trend line into your first graph there, just basically flat line.
In this one,
Yeah.
yeah, you won't get a trend because all these are like all
Right.
independent data points.
Right.
Yeah, they're only related to,
R
Original
square is
boy.
like 0.00007, you know, it's like. All right, so what's the consensus on the graph that we're gonna submit?
all of them.
I'm partial to the one with the trend line that they put on the right, only because it matches what he showed us in the exercise.
Okay,
That's yeah, that's it. That's why I think I would choose that one.
So I think you still have to do the regression as well, though, or you should.
Yeah.
so you want to go over how to get the regression real quick? For
Yep.
those?
So here, select, well, not everything anymore, select all this.
Remember, Control A,
Yep.
go to
And
data.
then go to data, data analysis, regression. And then you want to, why is this not?
Yeah, why didn't yours get all selected?
Oh, because you can't do it that way. That's why. So, okay. Sorry, our dependent variable is points per game, right? So I want to select that.
As our way.
That's our
Y is
one.
always, yep, Y is always the dependent variable. And then X will be the independent variable. That's our yards per game, because we want to see, is points per game affected by yards per game? So you get that. And then I selected it with the column headings on it. So I want to tell it labels are in there. And then pick where you want your output. So I put it there. I'm going to do it as another worksheet. So, and then turn on your residuals, residual plot, and away we go.
Dun, 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 dun,
And
dun.
you should get all this. So, and then check your p-values. Those are less than 5%. So that's bueno. Check your range, lower and upper 95%. Those look good. And then you can construct your equation using these.
Okay.
And does everybody know how to, do we want to go over how to put the equation together?
That's probably a good idea.
All right. So here, so what we're, so our dependent variable is points per game, right? So points per game is a function of yards per game. And so our intercept is minus 19.2478. I noticed, by the way, he did his formulas kind of backwards from what I'm used to. So I did it as a yards per game times your coefficient for yards per game, which is 0.126, and then minus your intercept, 19.248.
Yep.
Why, I have a question for you, Matt. Why is it minus and instead of a plus 19.248?
Because it's going down.
I
Negative.
can't really tell from that residual plot though, that it's going down. Can you guys tell?
Well, actually,
intercept, I believe. Yeah.
okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that just means when you have 0 yards.
Oh, I see.
And you're
The
at
coefficient's already negative anyway, right?
Yes.
So, never mind. Yep.
So what we're saying is that for every yard, there's going to be a negative 19.
No. That's just if you had 0 yards.
Okay,
And let's say for each yard team gains, you get 0.126 points per game.
Mm.
well, because I was interpreting it as for every yard you lose 19.
No, so this one here, this is going to define the slope of your curve. And so that's
Mhm.
positive, so your curve's going up.
What are you pointing at? I see your finger, but not on the graph.
This guy right here. I need like is there like a thing that you can?
Like annotate,
We
like kind
see,
of like
we
what he's
see, we
doing.
see the arrow. We see the arrow. You,
So
So that's
basically
telling
that
us that-
means,
There's a positive slope.
this is cool actually. So this is like, so this is yards per game. Right. Oops.
label it. Come on, brother. Do it right.
Jeez, this is really hard.
We paid all this money for you to do it right. Come on.
So that's your yards per game. This is your points per game, right? So when yards per game is 0, points per game is negative. So that's down here. So that's your y-intercept. And then it's gonna go like this. And so the slope of the
Rising
curve
the run.
is this. Yep. And since this is positive, that means your slope is positive, go up. So if this was like minus 0.126, then it'd be going like this.
So you put the y-axis first. Because what you're telling me is that 0.126 is your y.
0.126. Well, you can plot it either way. It'll.
Okay.
So here's the other way to do it. So if you plotted yards per game here, or sorry, points per game here, and yards per game there, then your points per game, now this gets confusing. So when y is 0, points per game is
We'll be
negative.
over there on the negative on
It
the
should be
X.
here.
Right.
Yep. And then you are going to be there's why you don't do it this way.
All right, don't worry about it. As long as
Okay,
we
one
can
last
answer the
question with this one. Can I ask one question?
Yep.
When the game starts, so 0 yards, usually you also have 0 points, right?
Yep.
But
So what
this
is-
one says when 0 yards, the game starts, you're minus 19 points.
Yeah. Well, that's where the regression kind of falls apart. And
Mm,
I imagine if you had, because this is only capturing yards per game and points per game at the end of the game.
This is true.
Okay.
So if you had, if you captured multiple points throughout the game for points per game and yards per game, then you might, I don't know, maybe come out with something different. I don't know. But the range, so just think about it, like we're showing this as like it actually would be crossing here, but the range was, I gotta lose this to it. Get out of it. Okay. Oh, nice. All right. So the range is like, what's the smallest here? Like 15, something like that. So really the range that we're actually working over is like here to, there, right? We're operating in that range.
Is that the P that you were talking about before?
No, this is points per game.
I mean, not, excuse me, the lower 95 and the upper 95.
Yeah, it should, yeah, it would be. Yep.
Because on our regression summary, it says negative 27 and negative
Yeah.
11. So that's why I'm having a hard time visualizing.
Well, I think what this is saying is like, this is tracing it back because this is for the intercept. Right, so the intercept is always going to be where where y is 0. And so it's basically setting a range. Like if you took, honestly, I hope I'm not making this stuff up and telling it to you wrong. If you trace this back to here, and then you set your range, but where p is 0, so your range is going to be there.
Yeah, that
But
makes
since this is,
based on those
like, yeah, but since this is like a linear relationship, then this range just translates to here as well.
all right. As long as we get
At least that's what
credit
I'm
for it,
understanding.
I don't care. This is not one of those classes where I need to really understand that.
Yeah, all you got to do is be able to call BS when somebody brings you something and says,
Oh,
he
yeah.
said, I ran this regression. It's telling us to sell all shares now.
I can tell you what X and Y is and where they intercept. That's about all I need to tell you. All right. And then just go back up to where you wrote it out in the proper King's English so we can take a lookie to see your interpretation of it. There you go.
So my interpretation was teams with higher yards per game typically have higher points per game, which is like, yeah, makes sense.
Then B is use the regression tool to develop a model predicting points in the game as a function of yard game. Interpret the coefficients of regression model. So you state, this is where you read.
Oh, sorry, let me do this.
Because this is a meat
Okay.
and potatoes part, yeah.
So, so here we've got, so here's our R squared, here's our adjusted R squared. So R squared is basically it's 80%. Right, so the threshold he was talking about on Saturday was 70% or even above that, 80%.
Yeah, as long as it's above that, then there's a
They're correlated.
correlation.
Yeah, exactly. So they're fairly correlated. So that's good, right? P-value is less than 5%. So is not here. Null hypothesis. And then our regression range, they don't cross 0, so that's good. I still don't understand the whole like not crossing 0 thing, but I remember it.
I don't remember that, but okay.
And then, so then here's our formula.
Points per game can be estimated by using yards per game in the following: points per over game equals that times yards. Okay.
One other interesting little thing too is when you do your regression, it also allows, there's a, let me get back into this. So when you do your regression, it gives you an option to standardize residuals. So this is something that he showed us a formula to do this on Saturday, which was you basically take your residual and divide it by the standard error. And so basically what you're doing is you're normalizing all the residuals. So like your standard error is 0, and then now the residuals give a reading from your standard error higher or lower. And the benefit of that is you're looking for like, quickly identifying like the outliers. And the rule of thumb, he said, is if the standard residual is higher than 3 or lower than -3, basically greater than absolute value of 3, then that would be something that's an outlier that you may want to consider like ignoring from your data, which would also show up here. Like we don't really have anything, everything is kind of clustered in this range. On, I think, one of the other examples, there was like some data points that are kind of like way outside, those would be the outliers.
Can we manipulate that chart that showed up?
This one?
Yeah, so we can, yeah, so you got it to, it starts at 200. Okay, that was all I was looking for.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I think it might be better to not do it this way and actually have it be on a wider range, because then it'll just force everything to get more clustered in the middle. Because really, when you look at these, if everything is like clustered like really tight, then that means you don't have, like, everything is, I forget how he was describing it, but
Yeah, see, this is how I have it on mine. Are you seeing that?
not yet. Might have to stop first. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, if you don't like adjust the range, that's how it shows up. And I think honestly that looks a little better.
Now, if you're a good instructor, this is where you stop and say, are there any questions?
Are there any questions?
Or you could be like our instructor and just keep plowing through for another hour and a half before stopping to take a breath.
Yeah. So yeah, so on these, like what I started doing is I just did like conditional formatting to red flag something that is greater than 3 or less than -3, which none of them are on, are on this one, but that'll help you to identify outliers pretty fast. He didn't ask to do any of that, so don't worry about that for this one. Cool. Questions?
So what else do we want to look at here?
That's it. That's the homework.
That's it.
Yeah. I mean,
How do
unless
we get an
he,
A on the midterm? I want to know that. You guys know how?
you save all of these spreadsheets, and then when he gives you the same problems again on the midterm, you copy paste.
Copy paste.
Mm.
That's what I'm planning on doing. I've got copious notes, in case I have to figure it out a little bit more, but yeah. Because if you go back and watch his videos, he tells you exactly how to do it and what they mean. But that takes time. I spent the last 2 days doing that, but
Did everybody do the exercise?
I think we did that during the class.
We did, yeah.
So
the only thing to see, I'm going to share my screen, Matt, real quick.
Mhm.
That was helpful for me was this one. This one's called regression model, and it's basically it's the same thing we were just working on.
What is it? Oh, example number 2. Yep.
And
Oh yeah, this is the one that he was doing with the market value and square footage of homes.
right, our homework is basically based on this regression.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much doing the same thing.
So it seems like if we pretty much go back, look at his videos and kind of skip the part when he's going through the PowerPoint, but just go when he's going over the Excel stuff,
Mhm.
and then
That's
just
exactly
redo
it.
everything we've been doing, we should be okay, hopefully.
Yeah. Do you guys want to go over any of that stuff? There we go.
I'm gonna show you if it's okay. And I don't know if you want. I'm trying to find out whether or not you want me to put it up on. If you think it's a good idea to put it up on the shared file, because I went through and I kind of dummified it. So so for question, this is the exercises, and I've kind of made notes and stuff.
That's what your yellow box was, the notes.
Yeah, like here's
Yeah.
the empirical rule. What does that mean?
Yep.
This one was tricky too. I think we all got that.
Sid, I think this would be useful to put up on Teams.
Like this one here, I put the notes here because I couldn't figure out some of that stuff here. All
Yeah,
right,
anything to help.
all right.
Those were the ones from last week?
Yeah, well, remember that exercise. And then the other one I did was homework. Oops, share screen. Boop. But I think everyone got the homework stuff. I didn't really go detailed on this stuff here. I have more notes, but I could add my notes to it.
Nice charts.
They look really nice. I like this one. Looks like a laser.
And for this one here, I did use the because I thought we were just limited to linear.
Mhm. Oh, you did the linear like point to point.
I did a polynomial.
Polynomials.
Yeah.
Hey, Sid, could you go back to the first one you had? I think that question 2 with the probability kind of always trips me up. I'm wondering if he's gonna throw something like that at us. Kind of write that out
Hang on.
on the
This
other
one,
sheet.
this one was a probability, kind of, but like some of the cells already told me what they were. But so for this one here is, age group and business, but this is how it's written out. And if you wanted to go technical. Jamal, is that what you're talking about?
I think it was the other. It was on the exercise, the one where you have to write out the. What was it? I think it was number 2. No. What one was it? Sorry. Yeah, it was that one, 3.
Now, Matt, it sounds like you took statistics along with me and all the other people, and he should be doing union, and he's not. And I can't remember which one's upside down. It's like an upside down union and a U for union.
Yeah, I was doing a little bit of head scratching.
And
too,
then-
trying to remember on this stuff.
Right, and then the one with the line in the middle, like, so if you look at this one here, what that's saying is the probability of B when A has occurred, A1 has occurred.
Yes.
And he didn't really go over that. You kind of have to know that in the background. And I kind of felt bad for some of you who didn't understand that, because he's not doing a very good job of explaining this. Here you can see that the multiplication rule, this is also kind of when both events occur, then you use equal to the product. You're going to use the multiplication. Total probability rules, that is unknown, you can calculate, and that's where we do the plus kind of. If you notice here, we have 8 point plus 3, blah, blah, blah. Because here you can see that when the probability of A1 and B and the probability of A2 and B, so that's where you get the plus sign. And if you look up here, you have the in the event that when that happens. Jamal, I know it's kind of confusing, but and then Matt, you want to explain Bayes' theorem?
Say what?
You want to explain Bayes' theorem?
Yeah, give me like 10 seconds to look it up on Wikipedia.
No. Basically, what Bayes' theorem is telling you is that you can move things all around. That they're
Oh, yeah.
backwards and forwards. And so there's a formula for Bayes' theorem, and that's what this is. It's basically a division problem.
Yep.
But
There's
you need to know what the denominator is, and you don't find the denominator until you get P, the probability of B in this one here. That's why
There's a set of rules you have to follow. And actually, well, here, let me share my screen. Actually, the Wikipedia article looks like it might have some good stuff to snapshot
right
into
there.
your cheat sheet. Because they're using the notation here.
Right, and there you go. You can see the denominator is the probability of B.
Yep.
But again, he's whatever.
Yeah.
When the probability of P when A is the anti-union.
Yeah, because this is like A and B.
Right.
Probability of A and B if you already have a B. Right.
Yeah.
And then here, so this is like, yeah, so where probability of A and B is probability of both A and B being true. So I guess this is like a simpler way of noting it. Plus, you don't really have this on the keyboard to type
The
it
other
in.
thing
So
he didn't explain well to me, and I had something. So if you go back to, I'm going to share my screen one more time. This one here. So if you were to do a Venn diagram, right, we know that the Venn diagram would be
Mhm.
two separate circles inside the little box, right? Because if two A1 and 2 equals 0, that means that they don't overlap. But at the bottom, or somewhere in one of these things, he's like, are these mutually exclusive? And he had,
yeah, that's question A right there, right?
that's, yeah, and I can't remember which one it was. It was one that said he was asking, are they exclusive? And
Oh, one of the other questions?
yeah, maybe it was on the homework.
But just to clarify, the word "and" that's the upside down U, right? That's that symbol. Is that right?
No, upside down U is either or. The right side up U and N, I guess, is and.
Okay, yeah, that one confused me. I don't understand all the symbols yet.
He's gonna spell it out for you because I guess he assumed we're morons. So
I think he assumed we knew, I guess.
If you the recording doesn't record what gets dropped in the chat, right?
It should.
the chat maybe if
Let's give it a try. So this. Let's see if this will work. Ah, well, it doesn't let me copy paste stuff into the chat, so
all right,
it doesn't matter.
all right. Should we call it a night, kids?
Yeah.
Right.
Brenda,
Thank
you
you for
look
hosting.
lovely as always.
Thank you.
Brenda,
very
Jamal,
sorry.
any questions? You guys got what you need?